Good evening to everybody. How's everybody doing? Let's wait for some people on the feed so we can start. That we have important information for you guys to hear out, as I am getting information from our contact and our source over there in Tapachula, Carlos Mejia Lopez. And you know, a lot of information that we have to talk about as we've been listening to what is going on in our country with some journalists, really important journalists around our country. God bless everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News at America's Voice. Thank you so much for joining me on this evening. God bless everyone. God bless my country of Mexico, my city of Tijuana, and also God bless the United States of America. Moving on some information that it's not regarding the riots that it's going on right now in the United States. Caravan update, people. As we all know, and I was speculated for you guys to know, I told you guys about this since we started talking about why the migrant caravan, or the migrants that they're asking for the political asylum, or you know, not only for the political asylum, but for the refugee asylum, that as soon as the migrant caravan and as soon as all the shelters know that the pandemic or the plandemic or whatever you want to call it, and the United States of America reopens, as soon as they know, caravans are going to start happening. Now, the speculated number that is awaiting in Guatemala is between 2,000 to 4,000 people that they are awaiting in Guatemala. There was another one that it was supposed to be coming a couple weeks ago. They were posting about another caravan that it was supposed to come, but it got dispersed and it got stopped in Honduras. Now, who is stopping all these caravans is the government of Honduras. Why? Because of the pandemic, because of the situation that is happening, and because of COVID that is spreading all over the place. What happened yesterday and the day before? A caravan of around 110 to 115 people got stopped in mediations between Honduras and the Caribbean. They were coming from the Caribbean, and they were entering Honduras. These people, they were with child, they were with kids, and the entities that they are reporting immigration services from Honduras is that 5 people from Peru, they were coming. 12 people from Cuba, they were detained, and the other amount of people were from Haiti and were from Africa. I will post the pictures right now on my page, as this information has been coming in since yesterday and today, but we've been waiting for the confirmation. Immigration Services from Honduras has detained the migrant caravan, this little caravan of people, little group of people that they are trying to move, towards, Mexico, that is our country, ultimately with the purpose, of moving into the United States of America. One of the leaders of the caravans, you guys already know, Bartolo Fuentes. He's the one that has been posting a lot about all this that is happening, and also ultimately it leads to other things that they are going to happen, people. It's not a speculation. It's a strong feeling that this is going to happen due to the riots and due to all of this stuff. So I will move to that subject in a few moments, but let me tell you, just a recap for what I just said for people that they're just joining. A little group of people, around 115 people, 115 migrants, were stopped today and yesterday in Honduras. This little migrant caravan that wanted to infiltrate to Honduras and then to Guatemala and then to Mexico got stopped and the mediations of the country of Honduras by the immigration services of Honduras. The entities of these people are 5 people from Peru, 12 people from Cuba, and the other people were from Haiti and from Africa. These people are detained and they are put to immigration services in Honduras. Now, what is going to happen around the country? This is my thought and what I've been thinking. You know, migrants are going to get desperate because they're not being released into population. They don't have the liberty to be, you know, going out of the shelter to go get money, to go get food. So they pretty much, I don't want to say that, but it's not an incarceration, but pretty much you are detained at a shelter and you cannot have the liberty to go out and about. So desperation factor is going to come into play. After the desperation factor is going to come into play, a lot of other other attitudes are going to start happening. With desperation comes disorder. With disorder comes, aggressiveness. With aggressiveness comes riots. And as you guys know, I was in El Paso 2 weeks ago, and we traveled to Juarez. In Juarez, we visited a shelter by the name of Leona Vicario. This shelter, by the name of Leona Vicario, it is a shelter that it can hold between 2,000 to 3,000 people. It is exactly the same design that I've shown you over here in Tijuana, a federal funded shelter where they can hold up to 3,000 to 4,000 people. Now, it is exactly the same design as we visited that shelter, and I will show you on Saturday on our super chat. I will show you videos and I will show you also pictures of this shelter, and I will explain what I heard of this the information that we got. Now, this shelter, Leona Vicario, it holds right now between 300 to 500 people. And those 300 to 500 people, this shelter that is located in Juarez that we visited, has 3 migrants infected by COVID. The 3 of them are from Nicaragua. One of them speculated to be, a little bit sick. In this particular shelter, there was a riot yesterday. I will upload that video as soon as I can right now with the pictures of the caravan that it was stopped. Why was the riot? The riot is because the shelters are not letting them out. 1, 2, they're getting tired. They're getting extremely tired. The migrants are getting tired of not getting answers, of not getting, the questions are not being answered, and the process of them asking for asylum, and the process of them asking for, asking for the political asylum, and also for work in the country of Mexico are not being responded. So this is going to happen, and it's inevitable. This is going to happen. It's the first shelter that it erupts into a little, rough riot, and they had a confrontation with authorities inside of the shelter. What does this tell you? That all of the shelters must be exactly the same. We visited another shelter that is called Casa Migrante. And that shelter, I will show you on Saturday the pictures and the video and interviews with people from Brazil and also people from Guatemala that they have paid a coyote more than 35,000 pesos to move them and to transport them all the way up north. In this shelter, Casa Migrante, also they don't let them out. Also, they don't let them go get food. Also, they don't let them go get their necessities. So what does this tell you? It tells you that desperation factor, it comes into play right now. And this kind of riot, so-called riot, or this kind of attitude to kind of rebuild and kind of a stand against the authorities for keeping them in a shelter is going to continue to happen. Not only in Juarez, but around the country. I speculate that it's going to continue to happen. So for everybody that is watching, a caravan of 100 people, 115 people was detained in Honduras. These people, 5 of them were from Peru, 12 of them were from Cuba. The rest were from Haiti and Africa. A riot in a shelter called Leona Vicario with a capacity to 3,000 people. It had a riot over there in Juarez, in the city of Juarez, the border of Juarez, that is the border to El Paso. This shelter is right now holding 300 migrants, and out of the 300, 3 of them are infected with COVID. One of them is not in critical condition, but he's kind of sick. So, these kind of situations are going to start happening. I will post these photos, and I will post also the video of the riot. Now, another information that I wanted to talk to you guys about is what is happening in our country of Mexico. This is crazy what is happening in our country of Mexico. Nobody knows who is directing and who is managing our country. The governors of the whole country had a reunion, had a meeting, a social meeting through a platform. And all of them asked Olga Sanchez Cordero and also Marcelo Ebrard if they can talk to the president and they can have a meeting, an urgent meeting of how they were going to handle the funds for the pandemic, as money is running out in every state of our country. The president responded, "We are not having no meeting and no platform. You guys are going to wait, as my tour to every state is going to continue. Until I hit that state with my tour, I will put you in my agenda, and if I have time, I will address the problem." Look at that. My God, man. The irresponsibility of this leader, so-called president, that is not being intelligent right now. I'm listening to every governor of every state of our country. And also, the most amazing thing, that there are states that he is going to visit all the way up to 2021. Imagine the response. It is urgent. These states of our country need a response now on how they're going to fund all the hospitals. The doctors are tired. The nurses are tired. The personnel from hospitals are tired. They don't have a solution. They don't have an answer. They want your answer. And you're not getting it. You're not giving a response. The only response you're giving is hold on into my tour of visiting the whole country. It's over. And then from there we will talk. What the hell is going on? Deaths are going up. Until the number that we had on this month was 1,000 people that they have passed away from COVID. Lopez Gatell gave this number. So amazingly, and it's incredible, the president doesn't want to meet with governors, and he doesn't want to talk. He does not want to talk to a governor from our country through a platform. I don't know, Skype, whatever platform, Zoom, whatever. He doesn't want to talk to nobody through a platform. He wants to make all the governors wait until he visits that state. And if that is the particular point, my God, Yucatan, I think that they're going to get visited by the president until February. Imagine that. So all the people have to wait till the president comes and visits them, and then gives them the solution after all the people have died or passed away or have been affected or have been infected. It's amazing. It's amazing what is happening. Another thing, and this is another thing that is more unbelievable. The president is suggesting that our retirement money, that is called Afore, that is for you guys, the 401k. He's suggesting the person that is in charge of this retirement money to make a statement to the population and to our country that because a lot of jobs are being lost, and because poverty is a factor that is going to come more after we already in poverty. We got 60 million in poverty and 28 million on critical condition and 68 million without medical care. So imagine what this guy is going to tell us. So the president has instructed this guy to tell us that our retirement money, when we hit more than 65, that we need to start depending on that to survive, because the economy is not going to provide for this pandemic. Imagine that. Imagine that. So This comes with your socialist agenda, you dumbass, you so-called leader, that you did not want it, no external companies to come and invest on our country. That is why we have 0% economic increase. We don't have other funds to pull from. You're pulling all the federal funds to the treasury. You're getting it all for you to have the control of the state. That is one of the most important things in socialism, to the state to have control of all the funds. You wanted to go to the banks to have the control of the banks. You did not get that because the banks told you no. But now you're telling the population of Mexico you need to rely on your retirement money if you don't have a job. Imagine what, whoo, my God. Imagine the clash of economy that is coming. Imagine the clash of the economy that is coming. It's amazing. And that is what it takes me to the other subject. Speculated 25 antennas that they have been put in La Ciudad de Mexico, in the city of Mexico. 25 antennas that they are disguised as cell phone antennas, as telephone signal antennas. But they already been discovered. One of the most important journalists in our country, Pedro Ferriz de Con, today in the morning, he said to everybody, 25 antennas have been discovered as being disguised as telephone antennas. These antennas have the capacity to read, everything on your information. Blood type, facial recognition, where do you live, where are you going, what devices do you own, your bank account, everything. What is this antennas? The rumor of this antennas, what is the name of them? 5 what? 5 what? 5G, right? 5G. Meanwhile, everybody is in the pandemic and the plandemic. Meanwhile, all these socialist agenda, meanwhile, all these socialist agenda is going on in our country. Why should the Americans be responsible for you? I don't want you to be responsible for me. Nobody's asking you for me to be responsible for me. And if you don't like my threat, get the hell out. It's real easy. If you don't like it, get the hell out like this. So, amazingly, all of these antennas, they're being put in our country with the pandemic that is happening. This is going on in the United States, is going on in Europe, is going on in London, is going on in Germany, is going on in Italy, is going on in Spain, is going on in the United States, is going on in Mexico. Meanwhile, we are scared and terrified. We are scared and terrified of what is happening, and we are scared and terrified of the situation of the pandemic. This is the situation that is happening. They're implementing and they're planting their antenna signals. They got 25 of them in the city of Mexico. So they already been disguised as signal antennas. Signal antennas. That is exactly the same of what they're doing in the United States. Exactly the same as they are doing in the United States. For people that are confusing themselves, I'm talking about President AMLO, the president of Mexico. I'm a bilingual broadcaster and reporter. I'm reporting right now from Mexico. The president that I was talking about is the president of Mexico, President AMLO. People don't get confused, all right? So, this is amazing. A socialist president. The strategies are working. We are right now, behind all of this Agenda 2030. And we don't know that it's happening in front of our noses, people. In front of our noses. It is happening. In front of our noses. It's okay, Sam Butler. God bless you. God bless your soul. It's okay. I'll send you a huge hug. And it's amazing that these riots that are occurring right now in the United States, the George Floyd riot, it is waking up other people to do exactly the same. It's a window. I told you guys that these riots, the whole purpose for George Floyd is for stand against justice for police brutality and abuse of power. We are in the same page right there. We're on the same page. What abuse of power and police brutality, what happened to George Floyd, what that has to do with children in cages, supposedly. What that has to do with a migrant caravan, a riot. What the George Floyd incident, what has to do with the economy erupting? Every day, as it's passing by, and every day as, information is coming and information is evolving, and as we are getting more info and more info, and you start reading and reading and reading, you see it as a strategy. It's unfortunate, really unfortunate, and it's full of anger what happened to this man by the name of George Floyd. And justice needs to be done to all those officers that killed this man. But I will tell you something. It's an open window for the Democrats, the liberals, and the socialists to start doing riots, not only in the United States, but what is occurring right now in London. You know what is occurring right now in Spain. You know what is occurring right now around the world. People are starting to do exactly the same. They're starting to rise against police brutality and abuse of power. I understand that. If we are protesting for that, that is great. But why are you bringing the caravans into it? Children in cages into it? Politics into it? The purpose was not that. So all of these anarchists, liberal activists, they saw an open window and they're using it to their fullest extent. And they are taking advantage of it. And right now, it's not going to be only riots. It's not going to be only riots just for justice for George Floyd, people. It's not going to be only that. There's going to be riots for other significant things that people are going to rise. This just woke all the liberals and socialists up. 10,000 people were yesterday in LA. Almost 10,000 people. 10,000 people that they were not only protesting for the death of George Floyd, but for other things. And this is what George Soros wants, what the United Nations wants, what the New World Order wants. I've been telling you guys for quite some time, one of the strategies from socialists and one of the strategies from globalists is chaos. It's implement fear. This is what is happening with local businesses in the United States. Their businesses are closing. They are afraid. They are afraid of coming out. They are afraid of going, on their lives as normal as possible. Fear. Implement fear. Chaos. That is riots. When it starts happening, riots, you guys saw what happened in Venezuela. You guys saw what's happening in Nicaragua. You guys know what happened in Italy. You guys saw what happened in Spain, in Germany. In the UK, chaos is one of the strategies from this guy by the name of George Soros. And he's accomplishing it. He is accomplishing it. They're winning in a way. But it's up to us. It's up to us to stop it and to be one step forward of what they're trying to do. And be one step forward of what they're trying to do and what they are trying to accomplish, so we can be more awake and we can understand what is happening. Justice for George Floyd, yes, 100%. I'm 100% backing that up. Riots and looting, hell no. That is not the solution. That is not going to solve anything. Justice for Floyd, hell yeah. It needs to happen. Riots and looting, get the hell out. Really. There's no need for that. But a lot has to do right now with the open window that we just opened, or that everybody just opened, or that this officer just opened for the Democrats and for the liberals to start doing this. And the socialists and the globalists. It goes more deeper than that, people. It goes more deeper than just, one man getting assassinated. It goes more deeper than that. More deeper. And we need to understand that. And we need to understand what is happening and what is coming. And we need to understand that riots are going to continue to happen. Not only for the purpose of George Floyd, but for justice for migrants, for justice for this, for justice for that. Riots are going to continue to happen. It's going to be a mess in every country. And not only that, they're keeping us in our homes. In your case, they want to take away your Second Amendment. And meanwhile, where they're keeping us in our homes, antennas are being put out to recognize everything that we're doing. Control human beings, control society. It is what it is. And it goes more deeper than that. Okay, it goes way more deeper than that. Control of society. It's control of population. And it's also decrease the population. So, God bless you all that were watching. I wanted to give you guys this information right now that you guys are live with me. It's almost 12 o'clock at noon. I'm about to go to my lunch hour. I wanted to, it's slow right now because of the pandemic. So it's slow at the job. I wanted to jump in here and talk to you guys about everything that is going on and the situations that are happening. I will post the pictures of the migrant caravan that it was supposed to be coming. Also, I will post the pictures of the riot of the shelter that Anthony and myself, we visited a week ago, that is called Leona Vicario. And the riot, tried to occur right there in that particular shelter, that it holds around 300 to 500 immigrants, that it has the capacity to 3,000 to 4,000. It's amazing. So, also that particular shelter has 3 people infected with COVID, unfortunately. 3 migrants from Nicaragua. And not only that, a caravan was stopped. Sorry about that. A caravan was stopped by immigration services of Honduras. The amount of migrants that they were stopped in this caravan was 101 to 115 migrants. 5 of them were from Peru, 12 of them from Cuba, and the rest of them from Haiti and Africa. As I told you guys, this is going to happen as soon as the United States opens up again. When everything goes back to essential, when the crossings through every border go back through essential, this is going to happen. Something is going to erupt. Migrants are getting tired. They're getting desperate of being holed in shelters. They want to get their asylum claim. They want their refugee case to be held and to be heard. And because of that desperation, it is going to happen. It already is happening in Juarez, in this particular shelter, Leona Vicario. Believe me, a lot of shelters are going to erupt. The emotions are really, hyped up. You got this pandemic right now that everybody's in their house. They're stressed. There's no money. There's, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And you got a riot that happens. Emotions erupt. Add to the fact that, you got people locked in a shelter without coming out, without going out to the store, without this, without that. Emotions are going to erupt. And it's another, riot going to happen. So it's all about, strategy with the emotions and with the feelings of the people. Amazingly is that. God bless you all. Follow my partner, Conservative Anthony, and his page as Conservative Anthony. Also follow him at YouTube, subscribe to his channel. Also subscribe to my channel as Oscar Blue, and follow my page and give a like to this video and give a like to my page, people. It's Oscar Blue, public figure. God bless you all. There's a store right there if you guys want to buy mugs, t-shirts, or whatever, right there on my page. God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening. It was a pleasure talking to you guys this morning. Thank you so much, God, for a second opportunity in life. God bless you. Let's pray and have faith. It's peace and love, everybody, because always your country is first.